Plato once said, that Socrates once said, that the first step in learning is to define the terms. But I don't know if that's true or not, because that's kind of a weird reference. I mean, we should talk about this a little bit. But I do think it leads us to a very important piece of information. Hi, everybody. Todd Conklin, pre-accident investigation safety moment. This is it. You've been waiting for this all week. Here it is. Are you excited? I hope so. Sit down. Well, unless you're already sitting, then stand up. And if you're walking, run. And if you're running, skip. Okay, got all that? Today we're going to talk a little bit about this notion. And it's kind of a roughly hewn quote that's often attributed to Plato, which says the first step in learning, the first step in intelligence, the first step in being smart is knowing that you don't know. Man, could I have screwed that one up more? Well, I'm paraphrasing anyway, so I might as well stick with that. The first step in learning is knowing that you don't know, which sounds super obvious, but I don't think it is super obvious. In fact, one of the things that I think is really significant is a bias towards believing we already know the answer, a confirmation bias, if you will. And that bias, not so much for us, not that we're super duper and we can be excluded, but you do see that bias a lot in our management, our leadership, because there's so much pressure to fix, and that fixing is so much more satisfying than the learning part, the analysis part. There's so much pressure to know that leaders oftentimes are completely motivated by the answer. But in fact, what we want leaders to be completely motivated by is the question. So my challenge to you in the safety moment, and it's a good one, whether you're a pilot or a nurse or a computer DevOps person or a safety person or whatever it is you do, is are we creating an environment where we're giving the information to our management so that they ask the right questions back? If you think of questions from leadership as an input challenge, not an output challenge, then in fact, instead of asking them to ask better questions, what happens is you build a system where you actually build curiosity into how they learn. So how we tell the story, how the investigation reads, how the report out looks, should lead management into asking further, deeper questions. Not knowing is an incredibly powerful place to be. In fact, not knowing is much more interesting than knowing. You know how I say all the time, we should fear the green and embrace the red? That is a fancy pants way of saying not knowing puts you in a position where you can go out and learn. And when you're learning, when you're gathering feedback about your organization, that, my friend, that's when you get smarter. That's it. That's the safety moment for today. Have as much fun as you possibly can. Learn something new every single day, even though I'm pretty sure today I screwed up the entire Socrates Plato quote thing. And last but not least, be safe.